Now, a couple of other projects I want to point out to you. You have I didn't want to stop there, we have more. A street sweeper. How important is it to you that our streets that are curbed are swept? How important is that to you? That's $245,000. The one that we have now is in not very good shape at all. It's continuously broke down. So, as a community, how important is that to you? We need to know. We talked about the Linwood substation. This is some electrical improvements out. This substation right now is out behind the steer inn on the Sunoco property, which is they're just behind Dr. Dietrich's clinic, or to the northeast of the steer inn. Some improvements out at the Linwood substation. Some issues with property that they're still working through, but hopefully one day that can be completed. We need a new ambulance. If you knew how much our ambulances ran here, you would probably be really surprised. But those red boxes you see, $180,000. So, what's more important to you? You have these 8 major projects that have been requested for 15-16 that we have to sit down and sort through to try and determine, with the city manager's help and other staff help, to try and determine with input from you, which I think is important, what's important and what should be our priorities. And when no one shows up to those meetings, it doesn't put any pressure on me to make decisions, because I'm not hearing from anybody. Stop and think about that. If I hear from you, it puts an enormous amount of responsibility on me to be responsive and hopefully provide you with an answer as to why I may support something or I don't. You know, a couple things about leadership, and we'll close here. Just from my perspective, is that leadership is temporary. It doesn't last and doesn't go forever. It comes with a ton of responsibility that you're held accountable. And the third thing is that you're charged with being a good steward of the resources that are put in your hands. And so it's my job, I feel like, to leverage my influence as one commissioner for the betterment of everybody in town. And that's what I feel like my responsibility is. And I think the other men that are serving there have that same thought process, although they might not speak it. But that's how I feel. And so it's important, again, to hear from you. Last slide, Ms. Amy. Okay. We are right at our time limit. We'll give 5 minutes here for any additional questions or comments. Do you have something? No. You can say it.
Terry, is there any thought to annexation? And what I'm saying is, we try to support everything by generating sales tax or generating revenues from an operating thing and gather that. But what about the annexation? And we talk about our roads and our streets, and we look at Linwood, and we just almost get sick when you drive down through there. And the only way you're going to get enough money to fix those kind of streets is to annex the tank farms and get them on the tax rolls and to get a bond issue passed that generates the dollars to do that. It's the only way you're going to get them to pay their fair share.
Since I've been on the commission, we haven't been challenged with any annexation stuff. And to be quite honest with you, Mr. Watson, I don't think
in 20 years we've annexed anything.
Yeah, so I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about it. So it'd be something I would have to go back and study up on myself.
I think it's something that we really need to explore.
Okay.
Just from a sales tax standpoint, I'll just tell you exactly, and I'm as guilty as anybody. There's a strip that runs out in front of our property, but we're not in the city. So if I have materials delivered in my yard, I don't pay city sales tax on it.
They're on 18 highway.
Huh?
They're on 18 highway north of town across from Carolina Cemetery.
Across from the cemetery.
Yes.
Yeah. If I were annexed, if that was all annexed in there, all that sales tax revenue would be coming to the city.
I move we be invited.
So
That's all right, because then I'll just jack the price to that when I sell it to Hudgens.
I see how that goes. He's going to withdraw that motion. But just real quick to answer your question, number one, I don't know a lot about annexation. I haven't been challenged for annexation. and would certainly have to learn a whole lot more about it. What I would like to see, what I wish we had out in the oil fields is the electric sales. That's what I wish we had, but we don't have it. You know, G&E has it, so that would be something that would be nice to have, but we don't have the infrastructure
I
out
don't think that'll ever happen.
there. No.
One of the other things that we should be exploring, and I'm just supporting Jack here on housing and everything else, we need to be looking at redevelopment districts with some of our older areas in town and dilapidated properties, and being able to tear those down and rebuild. The infrastructure's there, yes, it would have to be improved, but it would take advantage of some areas in town right now that create an eyesore, and that property would be available for housing.
You know, and I think to go along with it, one of the things that I would like to see our Habitat for Humanity group look at doing, and I had talked a little bit with the guy who kind of takes care of Habitat for Humanity, was going into areas all over Cushing that need a lift up and infuse those areas with some new energy in terms of habitat housing. That would be affordable housing that we can get people out of substandard structures and put them in housing, one that they can hopefully can afford to pay for, and allow them to be good residents of our community and build those areas back up like we're talking about. Any other comments or questions before we check out Dr. Water?
I probably shouldn't be saying anything since I don't live in city limits, but I've been here long enough. In fact, I want to say something anyway. I was coming in town tonight on Highway 18, which I very seldom use. I usually go to Linwood, but I noticed the pipeline crossroads sign out there. Someone had really cleaned that up around here. I remember going out there and be bushes growing around there. And I think it's the landowner that probably did that, but it looked really nice, I thought. And about water, Jack mentioned something about water there a while ago. We need to bring back Roy Kemp, and he can tell you all about the water in Cushing. If you ever went to any city council meetings years ago, he can tell you about it. And I also hope we get enough water from this rain we're having out here to clean all these storm ditches out and blow Jack's manhole cover on. I need water in my ponds.
He said that, I didn't. So,
And thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
all right, thank you.
Okay, I ran some numbers. Remember, we're a little over budget. Not very much, but we're a little over budget. But it seems like as a group, as a whole, and you all didn't work together, so this really isn't a true number. But it seems as if the big item that you guys are concerned about, and 19% of the budgeted dollars went to it, which is a fifth, really, almost a fifth of the money went to street maintenance. And the second one was 17% of the money went to the police department. So that was, I thought that was interesting. Everything else was, roughly between 5 and 10%. Fire and ambulance went to 14%. But street maintenance was the highest at 19%, and police was at 17%. I'm on my way home. Tell them I'll be there in a minute. Sewer was at 12%, and trash was another big one. Where's the trash one? Where's trash? Trash. Oh, I don't think only 5%. I thought more people put money in there. Anyway, it's interesting. And we saved, thanks to Jack, 4% of our budget. We saved. But that's an interesting, it's really telling what this exercise tells us. It tells us that, oh, hey, look, streets are really important. Maybe that's something we need to look at. Because if you come Monday night, I know Terry invited you, and I'll extend that invitation again. If you come Monday night to the safety center, you'll see the money that we have to spend, not have to spend, the money that we have to spend, and how do we allocate that all across the city so that we take care of what needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to introduce you again. This is City Manager Steve Spears, and he's got a little bit of information that he wants to pass on to you, and I'm going to pass this out to you to take home. This is a representation of all the good things that have happened in this city during the last fiscal year. You're going to see it in black and white. You'll see the amount of dollars that are spent and what we've accomplished and what is still yet to be accomplished. Steve?
I got a question for Dawn.
What's up?
How much was on fire?
Fire, was 14%. Fire and ambulance,
So fire and police took up about 30% of the budget,
30%, yeah, and then street took up 20.
as they do now. So I mean, that's a pretty good allocation. Y'all did a good job, because police and fire takes about 35% of our budget, just to provide, you know, basic safety to our community. So 35% of our dollars are gone right off the top. But it's not like y'all did a good job with that too. That's good to hear.